Hello and good evening, everyone. I will be representing our group, which is the King's Council, to present about the leader that we chose. Members of the group are myself, Darnik Perez, Miss Melida Harry, Miss Kiyoko Melander, and Miss Raiseline Gallen. The leader that we chose is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. King Jr. was born on the year 1929 and passed away in 1968. His famous leadership statement, or the leadership statement that he's well known for, is a genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. What this means is that leaders need to lead and develop ideas, not look for ideas. They need to come up with their own ideas. Who is Martin Luther King, you may ask? Luther King, or Martin Luther King, is one of the most important activists in African American history. He was the leader of the Civil Rights Movement, an organization that wanted to end black racial discrimination, or racial discrimination against blacks. Excuse me. Kings and his movement were respected for achieving their political goals without violence, without using any form of violence, and for fighting for unity between blacks and whites. King is so well known and very important that he even has his own day, which is called Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King Day is celebrated on the third Monday of January. It is a holiday and people do not go to work and school. However, Americans do not celebrate this holiday through reunions or meals. Usually, universities invite guest speakers and churches hold services to commemorate the king. In many cities and towns, people do march or march in streets to honor Martin Luther King Jr. As mentioned before, King was born in the year 1929 on January 15 in Atlanta, Georgia. His father was a reverend and both his parents were devout Christians. King got married to Coretta Scott in 1953. He became a pastor at the age of 25 and received his doctorate in theology in 1955. A few years after graduating, he visited India to learn more about Mahatma Gandhi, the person who influenced him on not to use violence in his struggles. King's leadership personal circumstances. Here are a few of his leadership personal circumstances, starting with his education. King graduated from high school at the age of 15. 15? That's really smart. And received his bachelor's degree in 1949 from Morehouse College. Personal quality traits of King are he's a phenomenal leader, intelligence, self-confidence, and determination. Positions held. He was a Baptist minister, a social rights activist, leader of the American Civil Rights Movement, and a member of the Executive Committee, which is a national colored people. King's leadership styles are a transformational leadership and fight for equality and civil rights for all Americans. One of his successes was, or is, he was awarded the Doctor of Philosophy and civil rights movement leader, Nobel Prize winner. These are some of his successes. One of his failure is he got arrested and fined for hindering a bus while holding a peaceful protest of the boycott. Moving on, King's leadership assessment. The notable leadership qualities are persistent effort to inspire, lead, and change. He had untethered commitment to doing more. He was a leader and visionary. He wasn't afraid to seek uncharted territories and civil rights. He would always demand for tolerance and respect everyone. He was an effective communication. He has an effective communication skills. The group assessment, or how our group assessed his leadership by doing research on him, is that we assessed him as a wise, effective leader. King is a fighter because he fights for a great cause. He's a peacemaker, and he dedicated his life's work into developing peace and creating equal rights between everyone in the United States. The lessons that we learned from doing research on Martin Luther King is that we learned what leadership meant for him or to him. Leadership is not about power, but instead it is about the relationship between him and everyone around him. We learned that in order for followers or to gain followers, one needs to build his or her relationship with other people, including his or her enemies. In building relationships with everyone, including your enemies or the people that dislike you, you will gain more followers. King's mission to empower his people. Words that he used to empower his people are, we can stick together. Our leaders do not have to sell out. Threats and violence do not intimidate us. We believe in ourselves. Economics is part of our struggle. We have a powerful weapon, nonviolent resistance. We as Negroes have arrived. Moving on to Dr. King's success. Dr. King's success was attributed to his consistency or consistently shared principles, which are fundamental Christianity, church, religious ideas drawn from tradition, America's founding ideas. These are some pictures of what Martin Luther King did, and Martin Luther King Jr. continues to make an impact in the life of people today, meaning that his story still lives on. Thank you, Kalangan, Kalisyo Chapur, Kamakar. Good night, everyone. That's the end of our presentation. I hope you all enjoy.